US President Donald Trump has said that he would consider traveling to Pakistan if a peace agreement between the United States and Iran is finalized there, as he signaled cautious optimism over ongoing diplomatic efforts aimed at resolving tensions over Iran's nuclear program. Speaking to the reporters at the White House before departing for Las Vegas, Donald Trump said that negotiations were progressing positively and suggested that a deal could be reached soon. He also praised Pakistan for its role in facilitating communication between the two sides, describing Pakistani intermediaries as very great and saying that the involvement had been constructive in helping advance the talks. Donald Trump indicated that discussions between the United States and Iran were moving towards what he described as a potential breakthrough, claiming that Iran had shown willingness to agree to key American demands, particularly the prevention of any development of nuclear weapons. He emphasized that assuring Iran does not acquire a nuclear weapon remains one of the top priorities of his administration, warning that failure to reach an agreement could lead to renewed conflict. According to him, Iran had agreed in principle to the central condition that it would not pursue nuclear weapons capability, and he suggested that this understanding formed the core of the emerging deal. The US president further claimed that Iran had agreed to hand over its stockpile of enriched uranium, which he referred to as nuclear dust, describing it as a material stored deep underground following previous military strikes involving US B-2 bombers. However, he did not provide details on how such an arrangement would be implemented or verified. He also said that while Iran had agreed to major terms, the negotiations were still ongoing and not yet finalized. Donald Trump stated that another round of talks could take place over the weekend, possibly again in Pakistan, as efforts continue to finalize the framework of an agreement. He added that if a deal is ultimately signed in Islamabad, he might consider visiting the country, noting that they want me to go. He expressed optimism that an agreement would be reached soon, suggesting it could have wider positive implications, including improved global market stability and lower oil prices. He also remarked that economic indicators such as the stock market were already responding positively to the prospect of a deal. And at the same time, Donald Trump acknowledged that key differences remain unresolved, particularly over Iran's uranium enrichment program. Reports also suggest that the United States has been pushing for a long-term suspension of enrichment activities, while Iran has proposed a shorter pause, a compromise that Washington has so far rejected. Iran, for its part, continues to insist that its nuclear program is intended solely for peaceful and civilian purposes. Donald Trump also addressed the fragile security situation, noting uncertainty over whether the current ceasefire arrangement would need to be extended beyond April 22. He warned that if diplomatic efforts fail, military action could resume, underscoring the high stakes involved in the negotiations. Meanwhile, diplomatic activity has continued in parallel with Pakistan's military leadership engaging Iranian officials in Tehran as part of our broader efforts to support dialogue between Washington and Tehran. Overall, Donald Trump maintained an optimistic tone, suggesting that the United States and Iran were closer than ever to reaching an understanding, while also stressing that the outcome would depend on whether both the sides could finalize the remaining issues in the coming days. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.